You're with the BBC. And now, assignment. Steve Rosenberg travels to the troubled Russian Republic of Dagestan, where security forces are battling an Islamist insurgency.
I'm standing in the center of Makhachkala, the capital of the Russian Republic of Dagestan. It looks like a normal, bustling city. The roads are full of traffic. There's lots of construction work going on. Opposite, I can see there are some office blocks and apartment buildings going up. And towering above me is a giant video screen advertising everything from Italian coats to a restaurant called Cafe London. Add to all of this the most stunning of backdrops. On one side, the Caucasus Mountains with their dramatic peaks rising up like daggers, and on the other side, the Caspian Sea. And Dagestan begins to feel like the Russian Riviera, the perfect tourist destination. In reality, this is the most dangerous place today in Russia. I'm Steve Rosenberg, and in this edition of Assignments on the BBC World Service, I'll be reporting on the conflict in Dagestan. This war isn't always visible, but it's claiming new victims every day. Well, I've just got into a police car because a Dagestani police captain has offered to drive me around the city and give me his view on the security situation. But because of the dangers here, he's asked me not to reveal his name. Can I ask you first of all, what is it like being a policeman in Dagestan?
Любой сотрудник милиции, который ходит в форме, он является мишенью.
If you are a police officer and if you are in uniform, then you are a target. Every day, every minute, you risk being killed by the bullets of the enemy. One policeman is murdered here nearly every day. I am in constant fear of my life. You can be shot when you stop at a traffic light. You can be stabbed or blown up by a bomb that's been hidden under your car. This year, a suicide bomber managed to get into the territory of our police station and blew himself up there. I was one of 130 policemen who were injured.
Также они получили около 130 человек.
You say bullets of the enemy. Who is the enemy? Who's attacking you? Who's doing the killing?
Не найдя преступника, не выяснив его мотивы.
It's impossible to say exactly who, because it's very rare that the perpetrators are arrested and put in court. But the killers often claim to be religious extremists. They call themselves the Brothers of the Forest.
The Russian security forces try to fight back. This is what's known as a special operation. Elite troops have blocked off a street in Makhachkala, and there's a gun battle raging around an apartment block. Holed up inside are suspected Islamic insurgents, the so-called Brothers of the Forest. There's a special operation in Dagestan nearly every day, in towns and in villages. The security forces seal off streets, whole neighborhoods, to root out rebel fighters. But who are these Brothers of the Forest? And what are they fighting for? Dagestan's president, Magomed Salam Magomedov, accuses outside forces of orchestrating the violence. He's under pressure from Moscow to crack down.
Они эти цели не скрывают, они же декларируют цель оторвать Кавказ от России.
The aim of the extremists is to tear the Caucasus away from Russia. Many of them have been to Taliban training camps in Afghanistan and Pakistan. They have links to Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups across the Caucasus, which share the same goal. They want to turn the whole region into an Islamic state based on Sharia law, to create a Caucasus emirate. And they're exploiting the economic and social problems of the region, like high unemployment, to recruit followers here. They claim to be fighting in the name of pure Islam, but their violence is hurting Islam. That's why most Muslims in Dagestan reject their ideas as the wrong path to Islam.
In this religious conflict, the battle of the hearts and minds begins in the mosques. At the central mosque in Makhachkala, I witnessed the midday prayer. The building is packed with worshippers. There must be more than 10,000 people praying here. It's a sign of how important Islam is to people in Dagestan. In this multi-ethnic republic, home to more than 30 different nationalities, over 90% of the population is Muslim. And it's the kind of Islam preached at this mosque which the authorities are encouraging people to follow. It's called Sufi Islam, and it's seen as moderate, non-violent, and, crucially, supportive of the state. When the Imam delivers his sermon, he tells the congregation that you can have strong Muslim principles and still remain a kind and soft and patient person. Shouts, threats, displays of violence are, he says, signs of weakness. The message is clear. These are words designed to discredit extremism. But not all Muslims in Dagestan recognize this kind of state-sponsored Islam. At a small factory on the edge of Makhachkala, I find workers making corrugated iron roofs. Here on the production line, I meet the company's marketing consultant. Idris Yusupov is 31 years old. He studied law and business, and he admits that until a couple of years ago he'd taken no interest at all in religion. Then he discovered Islam.
Allah changed my heart, my beliefs. I understood that the true meaning of human life is to serve Allah. There wasn't one specific moment when it happened. It was a gradual process. I came to realize that life is given to you not just by your parents, but by Allah.
When Idris prays, he doesn't go to the central mosque. He practices a different kind of Islam, one that's more puritanical, more fundamentalist. The followers of Salafi Islam see it as the oldest and purest form of the religion. They embrace Islamic Sharia law as an antidote to social injustice, to widespread poverty, and to the corruption endemic in Dagestani society. It's the kind of strict Islam promoted by Saudi Arabia, and the authorities in Dagestan are suspicious of it. They view its adherents as potential militants. Idris says that's why the Salafi community is suffering harassment and is being pushed to radicalism.
A person cannot be 5%, 10%, or 50% Muslim. He must be 100% Muslim. And this is the kind of person who can help improve society, to cleanse it. A person who won't lie or steal or kill. But that contradicts the situation we have now in Dagestan, where there's so much corruption, robbery and murder. So, like a sick organism attacking a healthy cell, society attacks us. The security forces are doing some things which are wrong. Anyone who follows our kind of Islam is put on a list, and the police start monitoring them. Sometimes the police detain them, interrogate them and persecute them. These kind of actions force some young people to become more radical. After all, when you are being persecuted, what other option do you have?
Across town, I'm introduced to Gulnara Rustamova. Gulnara wears the hijab, the Muslim headscarf. Like Idris, she is a Salafi Muslim, she's also a prominent human rights campaigner.
Можно спросить, а вот что это такое?
Это заявления наши, все входящие, заявления граждан и так далее.
Gulnara shows me a pile of complaints she's received, allegations of human rights abuses committed against Salafi Muslims by the security forces. They include the abduction and extrajudicial execution of young Muslim men. It's persecution, Gulnara says, which is pushing people to become brothers of the forest, to take to the mountains and wage war against the state. That, she tells me, is what happened with her own brother, Vadim.
The
police just wouldn't leave my brother in peace. They tried to abduct him once. They got him sacked from 6 different jobs. They arrested his friends and tried to get them to denounce my brother as a leader of an armed gang. In the end, my brother took up arms and went to the forest. He was killed 2 years ago in a special operation. He'd never wanted to fight. He left a video message on the web saying that fighting was the only way he could defend himself. All we want is peace. We are all part of the same republic. We are all Muslims. But the state has chosen to support only Sufi Muslims. Anyone who holds different belief is declared an enemy and is destroyed.
в прямом смысле уничтожение идет по религиозным убеждениям.